Hello there, everybody. This is No Name Moments of Spore, and today I bring you guys a little bit of a new series. You see, I've done a lot of Rule the Waves too, as you know, but I wanted to do something not as a live stream this time. Something for YouTube. And something which can also allow me to put my German game on hiatus since I'm kind of getting bored of it, but I don't want to cancel it. I will still live stream that at times. It's just right now, I don't want to go through the hassle of actually live streaming. So, what I've decided to do instead is basically create a series where I can just, record videos like this and post them onto YouTube. I'm gonna hopefully have them be, a little bit shorter of length of time than the live streams. The live streams usually go on like anywhere from like, I think 2 hours is my minimum. But they can go to like 4 or 5 hours at the most. And, for YouTube viewing, having a video that long, which at some point I probably leave to use the bathroom in, where my commentary consists of me sometimes responding to people saying stuff in chat and, occasionally being bored out of my mind because nobody's typing anything and that reflecting uh, into my commentary, that's just not well suited for YouTube. You know, for YouTube, I want to have stuff more ideal for it, and to grow my channel on a little better. So that's what this series is. This is a dedicated YouTube series rather than anything I would live stream on Twitch. Uh, so with that all said, yes, I am starting up a new Rule the Waves 2 campaign. We will be playing as the British Empire, which is kind of easy mode, other than the fact that your ships explode really easily. Except that I have a little bit of a limitation, and you might be seeing it on screen right now. I cannot build secondary guns. Or tertiary guns. That actually kind of comes with it too. If you can't build secondaries, you can't build tertiaries. Um, but yeah, I am literally not allowed to build any secondary or tertiary guns. I have to figure out what I'm going to do without building those. And that will be this campaign. And I should also mention, um, uh, as I said, I'm going to try to keep the videos a little shorter in terms of length. I'm aiming for probably a minimum of 10 minutes long. My ideal time would probably be like 20 to 40 minutes. And what I will say is, at the end of battles, I actually like to go through the ship list and look at every single ship that was damaged and record all the ships, or all the hits each individual ship took. And you see that on the live streams. On the live streams, I actually have to rush through that to like kind of get back to the live stream, but I want to have everything recorded so I can go back through. I might go a little bit more slowly through this in these videos, because what I can do is I can make an entire battle its own video, go through that at the end of it, and basically have that be a skippable portion of the video so that people who don't want to see it can just easily skip through it, and people who do can be like, oh hey, I'll sit through this. I'll sit through this portion. Yeah. First YouTube series, or first, this is the first dedicated YouTube series I've done, which hasn't been converted from a live stream or like some short from War Thunder or Planet Coaster in since 2015. Let's just say that it's been over 6 years. Um, Coming up on 7 since I've done anything of this sort. Yeah. You probably do not want to go back and hear what I sounded like back then, but even then, what I sound like to myself now is completely different from what you're hearing anyway, so it's probably not all that horrendously different. Um, God, sometimes I really do not like my voice. Anyways, I should probably stop showing the title screen and actually hop into recording the game, which hasn't started yet. So yes, we are going to select Britain, 1900, as I have selected. Largest fleet size, historical resources, because I usually play on that. I'm getting rid of game 6. Now I do have that game saved. I did check. It wasn't something where I saved it immediately. but it is something where it wasn't something where I saved it immediately prior to this, but it is something where I saved it immediately once I was done. And I did go back in time and I checked. What is AI advantage? Okay, we should have harsher peace steals on. Peace steals, yes. I don't know exactly what that sounds like. Maybe you guys can tell me what that sort of peace steal accent is. Yeah, harsh peace steal is very technology. Do I turn AI advantage on? Well, I'm playing Britain, so I probably should. Yeah, let's turn AI advantage on. I don't know when that got added. That feels new, but I'll turn it on. I'll keep to 100% research rate and very text. No, very text will be off on this one. Um. Okay, I've just completely gone past the point of calling my admirals anything remotely competent as a name. Anything remotely name-like. That is not remotely name-like. That is just a description of this playthrough. Um, but, you know, in the end results at the end of all this, on the final score screen, it'll be easy to tell. Let's just say that makes it a little bit easier to tell, you know, which game this is. So here we go. That is fine because I have that saved as a backup and I can just easily swap it in whenever I want. Okay, so just gonna give this moment to boot up and you know, start work on the initial fleet. But I want to do something first. Hey, those two, what you doing? Are you okay? Are you? Yeah, okay. There we go. It's okay now. So what I wanted to do is I actually prepared a little something in Microsoft Paint. This is a little bit of a plan, since we don't have access to secondary guns. Now, I should say this. This will impact battleships extremely heavily. This will impact armored cruisers. Okay, it'll impact battleships extremely heavily. It'll impact battle cruisers extremely heavily. Armored cruisers and armored cruisers will also be impacted extremely heavily. Heavy cruisers will be impacted pretty heavily as well. Light cruisers will be impacted moderately to not at all. Aircraft carriers will be impacted very little. Destroyers will be impacted very little, and corvettes will be impacted very little. This mostly impedes the battleship, battlecruiser, and armored cruiser / heavy cruiser. But I have a little idea. I mean, these are rough ship designs. Don't expect me to follow them exactly. But, you know, this is a rough idea of what the plan is. So, we're going to start with pre-dreadnought battleships with the, you know, 12 or 13-inch guns. I will probably be putting some 13-inchers on some of them for roleplay reasons. But no secondaries, because I'm not allowed them. So we're just going to, in terms of armored cruisers, we're going to entirely skip the class of armored cruisers that has like, oh, you know, let's have like 4 guns from anywhere from 8-inch to 10-inch inside, then a bunch of secondaries on sites that can't have any secondaries. No, those are going to be skipped. We are going to stick to 6-inch and 7-inch armored cruisers, and you know, basically as many 6 and 7-inch guns as I can get on them, because that's what's legal right now. I might also build some light cruisers or protected cruisers, you know, with just a bunch of 6-inch or 7-inch guns on them. That's what's being shown here. Is, you know, oh yeah, let's have the two twin turrets and then just stick a bunch more on the sides, however many we can fit. But only of whatever caliber, only of one caliber. And then we have a dedicated light cruiser or dedicated protected cruiser class, which is smaller. These are more typically the ones I build. You know, they'll only have the single turrets, one fore, one aft, and then anywhere from 3 to 5 on the sides, and those will be 5 or 6-inch guns, depending on what I'm feeling like. Destroyers will be pretty typical, 1 to 2 3-inch guns probably, and then 2, 3, or 4 torpedoes. And then I want to do a class of colonial corvettes. These will actually be 1,600 tons, and these will be used to serve most of the overseas colonies. Although I probably do want to make a colonial battleship and set of cruisers for the Mediterranean specifically, and possibly any other zone which would be easily contested by an opponent. That will be the initial plan. One thought I'm having is having basically one of these pre-dreads, followed up with one of these CAs or CLs as an escort, then followed up with one of these CLs, and then possibly 2 destroyers. So like a 1-1-1-2 ratio, or maybe like a 1-1-1-3 or 4 ratio. But yeah, because these don't have any secondary guns, what's acting as the secondaries is these ships right here. Now, my next plan is there's a little bit of a technology you unlock in this game, and you may have seen some of these styles of ships in previous campaigns. Nanchen in the Chinese campaign was one of them. There were a couple in the Italian campaign. I know I've had a couple more in a couple other campaigns. But there's this little technology you unlock where it basically allows you to put it's basically the heavy secondary battery technology, where okay, so you can put heavy secondary guns in wing turrets which are a lower caliber than the main guns. With or it's either that or it's up to 10 inches. I think it might depend on which tech, because there's like 2 sets of them. There's one which only allows for the single mounts, and one which allows for double mounts. It might be in the double mounts tech where you can get like whatever caliber you want, but in the single mounts tech, it's only up to 10 inches. But if you have an armored cruiser, you can make these secondary guns the same caliber as your main. Well, okay, no, you can make these secondary guns your main guns. Basically, it applies as a main gun technology, and effectively allows you to get the hexagonal layout of like the Nassaus or Blucher with up to 10-inch guns. And that's what I'm going to be trying for. Or, you get a bunch of single turrets on the sides. And this is objectively superior to a pre-dreadnought, especially if you do not have the option of building like a proper pre-dreadnought or a semi-dreadnought. I will say though, one worry I actually have with the pre-dreadnoughts is not being allowed secondaries might prevent the ships from being a little concerned about that. So yeah, this will take over my capital ship production, but even so, I still would expect to have a probably like 2 CLs per capital ship. Um, so I would keep that trend going, 2 CLs per capital ship. In this case, I'd probably stop the 7-inch CAs, but like the large CLs, which this represents, I'd still build. Then once we get to like 1906 and 1910s, we're basically building typical dreadnoughts and light cruisers. And destroyers, I just haven't drawn the chain out. I mean, destroyers will evolve as normal. We'll probably replace the colonial corvettes at some point. As we take losses with the colonial corvettes, we'll probably just build a couple more classes. Anyway, yeah. So, we'll go through the Dreadnought era pretty typically. That's kind of what I'm representing here. It's like, oh, hey, we have, Dreadnoughts, and we have, later protected cruisers where you start to put the 1, 2, 3, 4 arrangement on them, and then use your 2 remaining turrets to stick them somewhere in the middle. There's also thoughts about rebuilding older protected cruisers to this layout, but that could be a little expensive. And yeah, that would be in this time period. We were building battleship battle cruisers, and then in the late teens, my does have like a Nevada layout here, just kind of show how that evolves. But there'd be a bunch of interim designs, and a lot of that depends on technology. And then the light cruiser is kind of going to the almost entirely center line layout. Maybe you have a couple of wing turrets aside of the bridge. Um, and then we get to the 1930s, which is the other era I wanted to talk about. I didn't put aircraft carriers on here, by the way. So battleships are typical. I just kind of have like an Iowa layout. You know, something pretty typical for that time period. I'm not sure if that's what we're going to be building, but that's what I wanted to represent that with. For armored cruisers, it's also pretty typical. It's like, oh, hey, let's just do the you know, ABXY triples. I mean that can vary. ABY is viable. Doubles are viable. Really depends on the tech at the time. And then either 10-inch guns or 8-inch guns. Probably 8-inch if I want to do like a auto loading sort of thing, or maybe even like 9-inch if I want more of like a cruiser killer, rather than something which can hold its own against battleships a little better. But then we get to the light cruisers, where I think it's a little bit more interesting. Where I mean, this is still fairly typical, where you have like the 6-inch armed light cruiser and then the 5-inch dual purpose. Why did I make that an R? Anyway, yeah. I do want to go to that layout, but have a lot more of like the 5-inch dual purpose style of light cruiser. And in fact, one of my thoughts is to actually convert, the previous era of light cruisers into a bunch of those 5-inch dual purpose light cruisers. Although, if in the teens and 20s I actually start building like the 8,000 ton light cruisers, trying to just jam as much on them as possible, kind of similar to what I did with Cold Lake in the Canada campaign. Converting them to these much stronger 6-inch designs is also feasible. The only problem is the 6-inch designs don't have any secondary, so they're not going to have any dual purpose value or any heavy anti-aircraft value, and I basically have to rely on the anti-aircraft cruisers, probably like 5-inch dual purpose, maybe even some 4-inch dual purpose earlier on, to provide any of the heavy anti-air I have, or destroyers would be the other option for that. Um, there's also a consideration about building sub-hunting corvettes, but not putting them on trade protection, because apparently that gets rid of the gun duel thing. Like, you can use sub-hunting corvettes pretty effectively for fleet um, anti-submarine protection. So I might consider doing that, and then having old destroyers, be on trade protection duty. So anyway, that's the rough plan. This is roughly what I'm going with. Not exact, but it's an idea. So, right now we have 1,484,000 funds to split. And we have a lot of stuff we need to protect. So if you see, I move this over a little bit. In the Mediterranean, we need 41,000. West Africa is only 6,000. The Indian Ocean and Southeast Asia are each 24,000. Northeast Asia is 10,000. Um, North American East Coast 15,000. Caribbean is 9,000. North American West Coast is 6,000. South Pacific is 12,000. And Southern Africa is 24,000. So I want to be building Colonial Avicios and possibly Colonial Cruisers for some of these. Except for the Mediterranean, where I probably will need to station battleships. Um, so let's first of all design an Avicio. So let's start by auto-generating a Corvette. We'll add 1,600 tons to it. And let me just look up Avicio. Um, oh, Aviso. It's not Avicio, it's Aviso. God damn it. The Aviso. Yes, there we go. I don't think there are any British Avisos. I think there were mostly French, American, some Germans in there. But this can give me some inspiration for, what I'm trying to design. And then there were also some other gunboats, like some Dutch gunboats. Yeah. This is largely checking, how they look and what I should be doing, what they look like and such. Um, so, this will basically just be a little colonial service ship. Um, Unarmored, form a cruiser. Okay, what are my gun calibers? So 5" is actually a pretty good gun caliber for me. And I assume, yeah, I can only get local firing control. No anti-aircraft guns unlocked right now, of course. Aircraft haven't even been invented yet. And we want minesweeping gear or not? Um, how much does that increase the cost by? Not much. I mean, it would be sweeping mines in a extra theater, but maybe I'll do that. It's valid. That's valid. Um, I mean, I guess this is more like an unprotected cruiser. Let me just look that up. So I will say, this first episode's probably going to be longer because it does have the whole explanation, and it is going to have me, having to make all the ships. Um, I just typed in unprotected cruiser, and it's not giving great results, but no, this will be okay, I think. Okay, so let's just assume that our little Avisos have like 2 funnels or something. I'll get rid of the structure. What we'll do is I'll do something of this sort. There we go. I'll actually move the funnels a little bit further apart here. And then structure 2. How do I wanna do this? I think it's probably good if structure 2 winds up going across more like this. Okay, structure 3 I think will be the main bridge itself. Kind of like the base structure of the main bridge. Structure 4 will be on. Structure 4, I will start it there, go there, and back. Structure 5 is going to be a bit of an aft structure here. Actually, no. Let's do... Oop. There we go. No, I currently don't have my mouse pad here, and this isn't... Other than that one line segment right there and that one, this hasn't been too hard so far. I have one left. I actually have one left. I'm glancing over to the side like I need to check Twitch chat when it's like it doesn't exist. No name. Not being stupid. There's no Twitch chat for you today. Alright, there we go. I think that's our little Colonial Station Corvette. The Dependence class, so yeah, that's fine. So I'll order one and move you into, let's say, West Africa. And now I can go over to the map and check. So I'm down 4,000 in West Africa. So that ship is contributing 2,000 points. Now, that would be okay for the Indian Ocean and Southeast Asia. Okay, the Indian Ocean is not likely to be heavily contested. So I'm strongly considering putting, a lot of these Avissos there and Southern Africa. But it is probably a good idea for me to get a Colonial Cruiser of some description. Like a light Colonial Cruiser. So let's design that. I need a CL, auto-generate me one. Okay, little protected cruiser. Colonial service. I need, okay. The previous one was 1,600. Let's say I double that. That would be 3,200. So let's see what I can get on 3,200 tons. And see how much this contributes. So I think I need to go to a 1-inch deck. And that's legal. No secondary guns to speak of. Good. Broadside torpedo tubes, I will allow that. I mean, I should mention, in my rules, torpedoes do not count as secondaries, anti-aircraft guns do not count as secondaries. Mines do not count as secondaries. Anti-submarine warfare does not count as secondaries. Aircraft do not count. The only things that count are secondary guns and tertiary guns. All this other stuff I can have freely. Even with the main guns being there. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I might just want to add a couple more superstructure bits. Maybe get rid of 4, turn it into something a little bigger. And then add a little box up here. And then, maybe over here add like... Okay, so that would automatically be that line done. Let's do box. Probably. Like part of a mast. That just improves the look just a little bit. I think that helps. So yeah, Comus class light cruisers will be the Colonial Cruisers. And I will quickly build one And what happens if I move you to, say, the Indian Ocean? Indian Ocean now is down 20,000. So that is equivalent to 4,000 right there. So my thought is the Indian Ocean. How many would the Indian Ocean need? The Indian Ocean would normally have 24,000. So it would need 24 divided by 4, is that 6? That would be 6. Then Southeast Asia. Okay. No, let's not have all these in the Indian Ocean. Let's do some of the other ones too. Alright, so we'll move you to West Africa. Starting off. Comus will be in West Africa. So, for 24,000, how many... Okay, 24,000. How many Comuses do I want? How many dependents do I want? How about 4 of each? Right? Would that work? Because these are 4,000, and then dependents are 2,000. So we need 6 of these, but each dependent is equal to 2. Yeah, let's do... I could do 4 of each. But, as much as I'm saying I could do 4 of each, I have 2 other zones where I need to do this. So yeah, Indian Ocean, Southeast Asia, and Southern Africa. Okay, Southern Africa is just going to be like 2, I think. Okay, so let's build 2 for Southern Africa, 4 for the zones, and then 4 for the other. Okay. So you... Okay, 2 of you go down to Southern Africa. You guys move into the Indian Ocean. Then you guys into the Southeast Asia region. Right? Yeah, okay, so now it's just 8,000 left, and then 16,000 for Southern Africa. South Pacific will also need something. Okay, so that would be 4, 8, and then 16. So I need to build 16 of these guys. You guys, East Asia. You guys, to Southern Africa. All right. So yeah, that's those zones taken care of. So now we got Northeast Asia, North American East Coast, the Caribbean, and okay, we have five zones here. I think I'm gonna build 1 cruiser for each zone except 2 for the North American East Coast. So I will build 6 cruisers. So yeah, Northeast Asia, North American East Coast. Actually, 2 for the North American East Coast. Then 1 for the North American West Coast. 1 for the Caribbean. And then 1 for the South Pacific. Okay, so how many more of dependents do I need to build? So 3 for Northeast Asia. Um, let's just build those 3 for Northeast Asia right now. Okay, yeah. North American East Coast needs 4. Caribbean needs 3. North American West Coast needs 1. And then the South Pacific needs 4. Alright, and then we have the Mediterranean. And for this, I will also want to design a battleship. Now it's time to see if the game will let me design a pre-dreadnought without secondaries. Is this valid? Oh, hold on. Is not valid. As long as I have like 4 secondaries, it's valid. But if I dip below that, it's not. Is there any way I can cut back on the armor to make it valid? Okay. So, it is feasible for me to build this as a CA. If I drop these down. I think there is a limitation in terms of armor. Where if you go below a certain point and below a certain speed, you can have heavy guns on a CA. But I'm not sure I'm able to do that easily here. But it definitely seems like I'm not getting any sort of dreadnought out of this. Or not dreadnought, pre-dread out of this. Interesting. 6-inch belt gives me the heavy caliber guns. Alright, so, instead of pre-dreadnoughts, I think my hand has been forced. We'll go with a heavier deck armor to compensate. Can these go 21 knots? Can. Now, this would be a colonial battleship, though. So I actually want to build a little smaller, or Colonial Armored Cruiser, I should say. So maybe I'll stick with this. Yeah, I'll go with that. A little bit of lighter deck. Front will probably be a little heavier. Um, this valid? Yeah, that's valid. Okay, cool. So technically pre-dreads aren't allowed, but I will be able to build armored cruisers which will act like pre-dreads. The only issue is that the press might get really pissed at me for not having enough battleships. If that happens, I will probably find out in this recording session tonight, one or two episodes down the road, that this campaign is completely untenable as Great Britain, and I'd have to swap to some other nation. Or if I can keep the prestige high for long enough to get some battleships under production, maybe that would help. But it might not. Either way, this is going to get weird, and it's going to get weird quickly. Now, part of me is like, do I put it on short range? No, I don't. Could go with a speed engine, though. Probably not a great idea. Okay, let's get rid of like 2 torpedo mounts. And just have that save a little bit more cost and weight. And yeah, these will be my Colonial Armored Cruisers. Let's just do like this. Yeah, okay, we can do something like this. I'll do structure 3 as kind of like the bridge shape, which would be probably, out more like this. Normally I'd end it here, but it's probably better to get something else in there. Get, a little bit more detail out of this. Like, that's a little bit of extra detail. I can put something on top to kind of hide that line. Structure 2 should probably just go like there. Structure 4 will probably just kind of... Eh, let me redo 4. I'll make 4 like that. Structure 5 will, we'll start it here. Bird. And then go a little bit side here. And this. Alright, and then structure 6 will probably just like, that. Alright, there we go. That is our Colonial Cruiser. Or Colonial Large Cruiser. Something designed to fight Italy. Or Austria-Hungary. So we'll get 2 of them for the Mediterranean. And then we need more mass, we need more stuff. So, for 4,000, We'll send down 4 more Comus to the Mediterranean. Then we will throw some destroyers in. And let's just quickly design our destroyer design. Auto-generate something. None of those. 26 knots probably. I will probably want medium range on all my destroyers though. So I'm thinking get rid of the aft. Do an H and an I, and get rid of the Q mount. 25. Add the Y mount back in. You go normal? Yeah, you can. This seems like a reasonable destroyer design. All right, so let's get a flotilla of 4 of these and move them into the Mediterranean. Means how much more do I need in the Mediterranean? Probably like one more. I could do one more Comus. The Med. I could do a Dependence. I might do a Dependence in the Med. And then throw in another 2 Durance. There we go. Alright, so that is all the colonial budget taken care of. Yeah, not being able to build battleships until the Dreadnought's unlocked is going to be painful, I'm now realizing. Anyway, now we can actually build our regular fleet designs. So, good job. This legal is like 7-inch. Alright, just auto-generate a new design. Okay, so this is now generated as Pre-Dreadnought. But I don't want any secondary guns. Yes, I'll change type and continue. So is that the heaviest belt I can get? I cannot get 7 inches or else there was an error. Yeah. 6.5 inches, 20 knots, belt extended of 4. I feel like a 3 on deck. Deck extended. I think the meta right now is just no deck extended armor. Why are turrets? Turret should probably be like 12 inches. Maybe deck I'll put at 2.5. So you get like a 14,000 ton ship. Reduce that to 0. Yeah, okay, that's looking reasonable. As our mainline. No, actually I don't. What I want is the camper down. It's an older one. I'll suggest a new name. Just a new pre-dreadnought name. Okay. Yeah, I can't that easily. Alright, so well, let's just go to pre-dreadnought and yeah, okay, Benbow. Benbow's good. Nope. So what I will do is I will have a pre-dreadnought here. And what I'll do is I'll just have this pre-dreadnought saved. I'm not gonna build any. Um, I'll just have it saved so that if I need a name, I can just take something from it. And I think in the build dialog now, oh, I already need to fix a design, and that would be the Benbow. Benbow should go down. I'll resave that as the Benbow. Go to the build dialog. So now what we do is we have a larger armored cruiser design, proper armored cruiser name, and we're gonna start by auto-generating this one. Get rid of all the secondary guns. Yeah, 21 knot ship. You're going to go down to 7-inch guns. Go to doubles. D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, S, and T in singles. If these weren't so overweight, yeah, if it weren't so overweight, it would work. Cut that to 0. Bring up the turret armor, probably. Belt extended at 2. Turret top at 2. Maybe I'll do like a 5-inch belt. We can build, yeah, we can build about this heavy. So let me, let's check. Yeah, this is legal. Yeah, I'll just do something like that. That. Structure 2. Also kind of base this on how the design was. So structure 3 would have been just, you know, basically this. Actually, you know what? For structure 3, let's do that, and then structure 4. That for structure 4. Um, 5, I guess, will be something up here. Like a little part of the mast, and then structure 6 will be like a part of the mast down here. Okay, so that'll be the Andromeda class of CA. Okay, auto design a CL. So I'm gonna need probably a smaller class of CL first and then a larger class. Or okay, you know what? CA. Auto design a new class of CA. New class. Okay, yes, this is what I wanted. This is what I wanted. So we want a 21 knot CA here. No secondaries. Um, get rid of the deck extended. Yeah, I think the Europa class sounds pretty good. I'll change some of the superstructure stuff. So I think that's supposed to be that. Let's just change it all. Alright, so start with structure 1. Now this one does actually have like casemate guns on it, so we're gonna do this to represent the fact that it has actual casemate guns. Yeah, we can't even, like, add any more turrets. Then structure 2, I will also just do this line. Structure 2 will just kind of go back like this, I think. Structure 3 then will be the main... Actually, you know what? Structure 3 will be a bit kind of like below the bridge. And then structure 4 will be the main bridge itself. Structure 5 will be the aft bridge, which will be very thin if I can so help it. I think that might be a little too thin. There you go, that kind of works. And then structure 6 will probably be like a bit of a mast here. Okay, it's not the most detailed ship, but it'll work. I guess I'm just not feeling the detailed ships yet. Probably will later. Okay, so that is Europa. Now we need a new design. So in terms of a CL, so the first goal is to build a really, really big CL. More similar to Europa. Maybe a 22 knotter. Go to a 1-inch deck. I can build her a little smaller. Okay, yeah, so she'd be pretty well protected. Okay, and I'm giving it a little bit of additional volume here at the lower layer, just so it looks like this aft section is actually like on the same level as portions of this, as long as I can split this up adequately. I probably will build a conning tower and then have like a really thin one of these here. And then maybe on the aft section, I'll still have some sort of little bridge thing here. Then 5 can kind of be like this. 6, 6 just goes kind of here. Yeah, okay, we'll save that as the Pearl class. And then I think we have one more CL I need to build. And hold on. Open the design for the Pearl. You have no secondaries. Good. Auto-generate a new design. No secondaries. I'm liking the superstructure though. I think 5-inch is suited for this. D, E, F, G, S, T. Probably do want to go 22 knots. French deck. Let's do J and K as well. So this is just more the typical, like really light cruiser or protected cruiser. More like, this is like the third class protected cruiser. Man, I really hope that this campaign actually works. There's definitely a big risk of this campaign, not actually working. Just because I won't have any battleships. Because to build a pre-dreadnought, apparently you need secondary guns. Apparently that is a design requirement to building a pre-dreadnought. So I know I promised that none of these videos were going to go over an hour long. Too bad! Anyways, yeah, there's Phoebe done. Oh. There's that done. Yeah, let's save it. Okay, now we have everything we need to build. Okay, one thing I want to do first, before I build any of these, is we probably need backup dependents and Comus class ships. So, I'm going to build like 3 Comus class vessels and 3 dependents, and then immediately put them in the reserve fleet. So those are just kind of like backups if things go wrong. If we lose some of these ships, having backups is nice. I might get a 4th dependence, actually. And now, we can actually build what we want to. So, the Benbow would be the old, outdated ones. Yes. So that's our outdated... No, wait, no, the Benbows are the more modern ones. Shit. Be the, camper downs that are the older, outdated ones. Alright, so I'll just try to keep it organized then. Suggest a name. Alright. So we built 2 of those. Okay, built 4 of them. Let's build a camper down, and then another camper down. Okay. This is going to be an absolute mess of a campaign to manage, thinking about it now. So, what I wanted for those is I want either an Andromeda. Is it? So we have the Andromeda, the Diadem, and the Europa. I'm trying to remember which is which. Okay, Diadem's the one we have in the Mediterranean. So I don't want any of those. So one an Andromeda, a Europa, or a Pearl for each one of these. So 2 of each. And then 6 Phoebes. And then 12 destroyers. Or 12 Durants. Okay. So now let's get another Benbow. With that Benbow, I'll get a Pearl, a Phoebe, and 2 destroyers. That in another Benbow. And this time I will throw in another... Oh god, look at how horrendously this is organized. I'll throw in another Europa. I'll get a Phoebe. And then another 2 destroyers. Throw another 8 destroyers on top of that, and a couple more Phoebes. Yes, I am. I am finished building my initial fleet. Okay. So in terms of ships under construction, um, probably good to get a Benbow, another Andromeda. I'll get 2 Benbows and 2 Andromedas. Then I'll actually get like 2 Pearls, Phoebes, then 6 Derwents. About 12 Derwents. I should probably rename the remaining Benbows. So Royal Sovereign. I know. Renown. Then Redoubtable. And get me another one. I'll be Ramillies. I get one more Benbow. Yeah, okay, we can get another Benbow. I'll build another Phoebe with that. And yeah, we don't have any funds remaining. Or we don't have many funds remaining, but I think that's good enough. Continue? I think I am. Yeah, so, with that, I think that's this episode over after over an hour of setup and probable future collapse of this campaign as I don't have any battleships because I'm not actually allowed to build any. Um, Join me next time as we get the first turn startup going. Get research worked out. Hopefully invest in upgrading dock size, get fleet readiness worked out, all that fun stuff. And then next time we will. Well, I mean that will be next time. Yeah, time after that, I don't know what we'll do. Yeah, we'll get first turn stuff worked out, and we'll just start progressing next time. So, thank you everyone for watching. Links to my Twitch, Discord, and Twitter will be down below. You can go to my Twitch to watch my occasional live streams. They're not on any schedule. Sometimes I'll do like a bunch back to back, and then sometimes I'll go a month without doing any. You can join Discord for notifications on, well, live streams, and probably put these videos there. And, go to Twitter if you want to see me argue about spaceflight with people. So with that, yeah, I think that's this video. I'll see you guys next time, and next time for me is probably in a few minutes. I'm gonna be recording it back to back. So yeah, I don't actually have a buy screen here. I'm just gonna say it. Bye. Normally I do a little bit of thing of after it like I'm doing here, but you're not getting this again.